So seminar 15, is that correct?
Oui,
Yes.
yes.
So welcome to all. Um, yes, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about the AI things that we are implementing into the app because last week I had to rush away, so I couldn't really talk about it. I wanted also to speak about the new basic programs that Christine started to do, and the new interface that is coming. And everything will be available in version 1.20, which should be delivered, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. What do you think, Stephen?
Yes.
There's not so much bugs now, so should be good. Um, so yes, first for the AI helpers. The idea is that we have a lot of information in the app, and it's pretty tough to understand everything that is happening inside. So we had the idea to add some chat AIs that would be dedicated to certain areas of the app. And we came up with this idea of making a kind of AI clinic with nurses and assistants to the pros that can help the pros, but that can also help any user of the app that wants to get some more information or some findings. And we managed to make it able to actually interact with the app results. So the helpers can read biomarkers, they can play harmonic boosts, they can modify your priorities, they can add some elements to your harmonic boost list. They can ask for, they can read, so every biomarker results, but also your test list results. And they can also actually ask for tests. So you will record a live test with the sensor, and they will get the results and they can act accordingly. So it's pretty amazing, in fact. The idea is that users can start playing with the AI, and what we encoded is in the AI is that they also know that they are quite limited in knowledge because it's only an AI, it's not a real therapist. So at one point, they will suggest to the general users that they should maybe take an appointment with a pro and redirect people to the pro directory. So just to give you a general look and feel of how it looks, I will just share the working version I currently have, which is not the final interface. Maybe, Stephen, do you want me to show what Ines did?
Yes, yeah, of
Yes,
course.
yeah, okay. So I will just so that you know, this is the kind of thing we are working on right now. So it will probably look like that, more or less. What can I show? Yes, these kind of elements. So this is an idea of what you will get with the real interface, which is one of the last steps that we need to have to really launch this app to the general public. You know.
I have
And
a quick question real quick.
yes,
We touched on this before. The background when you're running a reading on somebody,
yes,
I know before you said it was just general, but you were talking about making it real. You know, when it's
yes.
going through.
It's not yet real because
Okay.
we don't we need to compute the whole recording to get some of the information, and so we have some information that could be modified in real time and some information that cannot. In fact, if you can change the screen during the recording. So if somebody else is holding the sensor, you can just move around in the app and see if things are moving or not. And if things are moving, it means that it could be displayed in real time. And for instance, I think that you can see the meridians moving in real time.
Cool.
You can see the aura moving in real time or things like that. So yes, at one point it could be integrated. But right now you're right. When you are doing a recording, it just shows the different screens, but it's not information that is displayed. It's just blank screens.
Yeah, because people do think that, and it's fun, but
yeah.
Yes.
So the heartbeat, the little dot at the bottom of your heartbeat in the screen when you're doing a
that's a real information, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you could go and actually monitor while it's being tested, while they're being analyzed. I did that. That's a good feature to see.
Yes. In fact, you have on the top of the interface, when you are doing a recording, you still have the different main items, which is energy, body, etc. You can click on it, and you can actually change the page during the recording and see if some things are already available in real time.
That would be good for returning clients or customers to.
It's particularly good if you are doing some therapy and the people are measured live, and you want to see if you have a feedback immediately on some things. But honestly, not everything is calculated in real time. Some things need the whole recording to be displayed. So I wouldn't. Well, it might work for certain screens and not for other ones.
Well, it also might mean that I need to pinch them or something, to get a response in certain areas.
Yes,
I'm just being facetious, but yeah.
Okay, so if we go back to the interface, no, not this one. Sorry, I have too many windows open. Ouais, d'accord, super. I have lost my window. Ah, that's it. So this is partially integrated right now. So the idea is that when you start with your own account, you don't need to see your picture, but if you use another contact, you can just choose a contact like that. And at that point, you will see who you are working on. So we try to make it as simple as possible on here. And then you have your current running Harmonic Boost and personal guides, and you have access directly to the different basic programs that you can have. So if you have some favorites, if you have some personal programs and so on. And here you have the AI helpers. So if we go to the basic programs, for instance, you will find some of the programs that Christine did, and you will find the programs that you did and put into these different categories. But you can also find some programs that could be created by the AI helpers, because the AI helpers actually have the ability to create a basic program for you with just a discussion. So I will show you that now. So right now, I didn't open a recorder, so I don't have a measurement. It means that if I click on the AI helpers, the first thing that will do, let's try the herbalist, for instance. Okay, so sorry, let's go back. The idea is that we have currently 23 different helpers that will receive each a subset of your biomarkers, if you have biomarkers, or a skill set and a program list if you want to create basic programs. So each one is more or less specialized into a certain category, and you can filter them as always with energy, body, and mind. So let's go to the herbalist, for instance. You will start with the assistant that will say that it will share some information with the AI helpers and so on. So you have to be okay for that. And it will ask you either to do a measurement or to open a file or to choose a file or to chat without a file. And that is interesting because if you want to chat, if you don't have a sensor and you don't have an Apple Watch and you cannot do a measurement with the app, you can nonetheless create a basic program just with a discussion. And so you will choose one of the AI helpers. You will have a chat with it, and it will create a basic program according to what you say you need. So it will be, of course, much less precise than if you have a pro doing a measurement or if you have a sensor yourself. But it's a way to get some basic programs done for you for anybody using it from the App Store, you know. And so it's like a first step into the world of BioCoherence.
So it would almost be like how we were discussing yesterday with random number generators.
Not exactly, because
well,
let's chat with the herbalist, and let's say, hi, I have some digestive problems and I don't sleep well. What can you do for me? So you actually start a discussion, you know.
Oh.
And so it says, okay, for digestion, I can work on some things and so on. And so you ask for an initial program, for instance, and it will load some of the programs that it knows we have into the system, and it will start creating a basic program for you. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a random number generator. It's a way to select between the thousands of programs that we have to create a basic program according to some selection. So this is one way of using it. The other way would be when you have a record available, you can also go to the AI helpers. And at that point, they have all of your reading. So if I go to the meditation coach, okay, I have some history. So let's take one or maybe let's use this one with the history. So it's able to add some meditations by looking into the existing meditations, including meditations that are from my lists. So it's not only from the organs, but it can add some meditation like that. It can ask for some individual tests with a recording, and it will receive at that point the results of these individual tests. And it can explain some elements. So probably let's take another one. Okay, so I can send him some elements. I can choose here. For instance, I don't know, one dosha that is intriguing me. I don't know what it is. And if I click on it, I can ask him what is his view on this biomarker, and he will explain it according to the knowledge that is into the app. And it will maybe say that it should be looked into this area or this area, or maybe it will add it to your priorities if you want. So that's a fun way to learn everything that is into the app by just discussing with these different experts.
Yeah.
It's also useful for pros because if you don't know how to look into specific meditations, maybe for one of your customers, you can start discussing with the meditation coach and see what he has to say on your clients. Because let's say I will now use one client account, and I will open one recording for this client account. It means that now I am a pro and I am working on one of my clients. So when I open this, it will say that it will know that we are working on a client and propose me some additional information that it can read from the analysis. So what I want to do is maybe you want to play a little bit with it and tell me if it's useful for you or not. I think it will be very useful for general users coming from nowhere and going into the app because it's a fun way to understand everything that we can do with the app. But I hope it will also be useful for you as therapists or as professionals to get some information and to maybe better understand some of the biomarkers or things that you can do with the app. Okay? So that's for the AI part. Maybe I wanted Christine to explain a little bit how she did the basic programs, the first basic programs that are available in the app. If you remember, we have basic programs that we can run from the start. It means that we don't have an analysis and we just play these programs. But you can also use these programs to add the elements to the current working priorities. and it will just add the entirety of the program to your clients or to your own priorities. So it means you can also use these programs as a basis of things to add to the automatic priorities detection. So you can create your own basic program for certain kind of customers, the one with the same kind of recurring problems, and just add them in a few clicks to your client profile. And that will be one point would be the key priorities that would be computed by the algorithm, and the other one would be the priorities that you put into these different personal programs. Okay, so I'll just leave Christine say a few words about the programs that she created. So what we will do is we will close the analysis.
Hello, everybody.
And just go into the basic programs to see lequel, avec lequel tu veux commencer? Juste pour expliquer l'attitude générale?
Non, c'est pas la peine.
OK.
To build a basic program, I think in a systemic way. And when, for example, we have a problematic about eyes, for example, we have to understand the meaning of the eyes, what function they have, and connect with the entire system of this problematic of the vision. The vision is the eye, okay, but it's a way to think life, a way to view, comment on dit, a way to view life. Non, to see, merci, corrige-moi parce que je parle n'importe comment. A way to see life, it's we are ready or no to see something. We want to change a point of view. There is a different problematic that are linked to the function of our eyes, and I put the entire system of this problematic inside the basic program. But it's the reverse, c'est comme ça, l'inverse? The opposite. It's the opposite of a body put into little boxes. It's a systemic way, holistic way. Okay. It's clear or no?
Non, ça va, je pense.
Okay.
Okay, so this is an example for the eye program that she did. And one last thing we did is that we can also add some specific meditations. And for that, we didn't add it yet because this program has just been made yesterday. But you know that if you go to test lists, you can have some meditation lists. And we created yesterday a new list that is called functional meditations. And for this one, we created an A-care routine. And the meditation text is very interesting to just work on a A-site improvement routine during a meditation. So this is something that we can also add to these basic programs. And you can also do it too. You can create list item meditations, request the audio recording, and when the audio recording is available, we can add it to the basic meditations that are available to everybody. So it's a way to create, yes, I must add that these basic programs, this one are public. It means that everybody can play them even without registering when you install the app. So you just install the app from the App Store and you directly have something to play. And if you find it useful, you can create an account and then go further with the app. Ouais, c'est bon, je pense.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you, Christine.
Yeah, please. Ah, il dit merci.
You are top.
Merci beaucoup.
So these are the ideas that we wanted to have so that the app could be released to the general public, and it's easy to start with it. So either with the basic programs that are ready to play from the box, or with the AI helpers, which are fun to interact with and can also create some specific basic programs even without a sensor. And of course, what we want to do is that users should be then curious to go further and to buy a sensor and to connect with pros and because it's just first steps that users can do with the app, but you know that it's much more complex than that. So the thing is that when we will start communicating about the app, my hope, but also my fear, is that we will have hundreds of thousands of general public users that will come. So we must be ready somehow to give them something to do, and then to be able to give them more. And more, it's your pros, it's what we can do with the sensors, with the distributors, etc. Okay, another thing that we can do with the new version is that we created a settings page so that you can personalize the interface. So you can here choose what kind of resources and priorities will be automatically computed by the algorithm. So for instance, in this example, I would remove everything but the organs. It means that when you do a scan and it automatically identifies the key priorities and resources, it will only show the organs. So if you are in a practice that is focused only on the organs, you can do that. If you are, for instance, into TCM, maybe you will want chakras, meridians, TCM points, TCM receipts. Okay, so you can directly choose if you want the priorities and resources in every folder like you had before, or if you want to restrict this list. So that's the first thing. But there is also an option to add systematically your favorite basic programs to the results. So if you have a favorite basic program that you created that you want every one of your customers to use, it will be automatically added to the priority sets and to the meditations that you will create for your users. So it's also an interesting way to use some elements that you want to use systematically. Of course, you can remove them one by one if you want, but they will be added at the beginning of your analysis into the priorities. Then you have the report, where you can choose to hide automatically certain part of the report. So if you don't want the meditation text in the report, you can preset it. Then you have all the menus and zones from the app. So if you don't want to see, for instance, the atoms, you just have to check that. And if you go into the analysis, sorry, I don't have an analysis. Let's go back to me. Let's open this one. So if I go here, you see I don't have the atoms because I just removed it from my settings. But if I uncheck that and I go back to the atoms, I go back here, it should, yes, now it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So you can actually remove all the elements that you don't want to see because it doesn't speak to your way of seeing things directly from the settings now.
So would this be the same, like, when you, at least in the demo that I'm using now, it says either academic or, experimental.
Yeah.
So would that, if I'm selecting on this screen right now,
yes, you're right. Right now, we just had this distinction, and academic would remove a lot of the non-academic things. So it's kind of the same way of doing things, except in this screen it's really granular. So you can really choose what part you want or not. Then you have the privacy, which is very important. We identified 3 privacy levels. So 10 on 10 it means nothing goes on our cloud and nothing goes on the AI helpers. So if you check that, it will disable the AI helpers and disable the cloud for every recording.
Medrick, may I interrupt?
Yes, sure.
So in America, I don't know what it's like in France, but like doing a check for Americans would mean that that's what you would want, not what you wouldn't want.
Yeah.
But it's opposite.
No, not everywhere. Right now, when you check this, it means it's a privacy level 10 on 10. Yes, you are right here. It means hide. So it's not, yes, I see. Yeah, okay, I think about it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
User friendly kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. So the privacy level 9 on 10 means you can save on our cloud, but the AI helpers are disabled, so it will not appear at all in the app. And the normal one, which is 8 on 10, means you can save on the cloud and you can use the AI services. But just for you to know, we are in the process of signing a BAA with OpenAI, which means that we will have a specific clause with them for health-related information, so that they will have what we call a zero-day retention. It means that everything that we send to our ChatGPT API will not be stored at all on the side of OpenAI. And we will have a confidentiality agreement with them for health-related data, which is actually acceptable by official health authorities in the US and everywhere else. So it means that the AI helpers will be legally usable even within health practice. So it's the privacy is pretty strong. The conversation history is private between the user and the AI, but you will have the option to invite your therapist, your pro, in the conversation, or to just send a summary that will be added to the report. But by principle, the conversation is private between you and the AI. It is the history is stored on our server, but again, this is a server that we operate. It's not a server that is on Amazon or Microsoft or anywhere else. So the privacy is strong. On the next one is more technical. If you want to compute audio in real time, you can check this one, but right now it's not really useful. It will be useful when the audio could be altered in real time by the biofeedback measurement. But we superseded this in the last version by pre-computing everything in the audio so that it can be played on every devices. Otherwise, maybe sometimes the audio, when it's computed in real time, it can create some audio artifacts or audio problems. So I would suggest not to check this one right now. It's more for us for making some tests. There is another set of settings that is here. When you share access to this recording, if you want to share this with the contact, you have some options here. You can share the personal guide, so the audio, the meditation. You can share the harmonic boost. You can share the report. You can share the access to the AI helpers, and you can use your display settings, meaning if you want to share the report and you had some screens that were hidden, like the atoms, it would be the same for the user. And when you decide that, it will be always checked as the last one you decided, but you can modify it and it will be saved with each individual report.
So this will be very helpful for John, say, and the opticians.
Exactly. This will be helpful if you want to create a report for a specific user, but you don't want him to have access to the guided meditation, but only to the harmonic boost, for instance. You could do that. If you want to allow him to chat with the AI helpers based on the report results, you could do that. So you have complete control of what your clients will be able to do with the reports that you will share with them. And I think it's important.
So when you share with the AI, and is the AI, go back to the vision, which I think is a very good one. I have vision problems.
Yeah.
So, and the report, so you're going to share AI with the user. Now, let's just say I'm the user, and you've sent me a program, and I paid for the service, and I open it up. So, like a basic question, hi, can you look at these priorities? In other words, as the client,
Yes.
on the client side software, the client is now typing in, hi, can you look at these priorities or the biomarkers, and will it allow them to change it based on, I don't know.
Why not? It would more on the client side, if the recording is managed by a pro, it would more be to explain things because maybe you as a professional, you don't have time to explain everything that is in the report, because there are like 1,400 biomarkers plus custom meditations plus custom lists, etc., etc. So the idea would be that maybe if you are with a customer that is overwhelming with questions and want to understand everything, it's good to know that they can ask questions to the AI helpers when they are back home and try to understand better their results, And so maybe one option would be, but we are really in the process of designing this, but maybe if it's that, the AI helpers would not be able to modify your priorities, because you as the pro, you are the clinic chief, and the helpers are just the nurses and the assistants. So they are here to explain what the chief and what the boss said, but they cannot supersede what the boss did. So So the AI helpers would be here to explain, but not to modify if it's a report that comes from you.
That was the answer to my question. I guess I didn't phrase it right, but I do like the idea of helpers.
Yeah.
And can we individually select helpers that say
why not? Not yet, but why not? It
Yeah,
would be
because maybe we
probably a
don't
good
want.
idea, because again, when people come on this page, they would say, "Oh, okay, that's too much."
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
Yeah. So why not? Yes. In this case, on this page, if you check this one, maybe you would have the list, and you would just lighten the one you want to allow.
Okay.
That's possible. Yes.
Could that be tied like to my display settings, which would have a category in the display, so that AI helpers would relate to however I have set up my display settings?
Yeah, sure.
And then that way could be the baseline.
It's a good idea, because in the settings here, I could add a new AI helper selection, and you would just select them, and it would be the same when you send it to the user, the same or maybe less, but it would be pre-selected the same.
And then but then the AI helpers that they would get would be related to I probably have to do that for every client. I realized that once I select those, they're in the system. That's the baseline.
Yeah.
But for some clients, they're not going to need a lot of the to start. I don't think, like the chakras and stuff and planes, which is very important. Don't get me wrong, but for them that might just, they're not comfortable with that. So I don't want to, maybe I'm not trying to limit anybody, but I don't want to, I want to give them help where they show they need help, and not,
Yeah,
confusing.
exactly. Okay, so my attitude, generally speaking, is that you are as the pro, you are the boss, and you must be able to decide everything. Okay, and the AIs are just here to alleviate you of some work. Okay, so it makes total sense that you should be able to filter which AI you want to see every day or not. And
Yes.
you should be able to allow what AI you want your own customer to be able to access or not. So I agree with you, of course.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right now, the AI have two different skill sets. One when they have an analysis, and another one when they don't have an analysis because they are not able to do as many things. But given this very interesting feedback, and thank you for that, Dan, I will create a third skill set, which is when they are currently explaining an analysis already decided by a pro. And so they will be able to explain the different biomarkers, but they will not be able to modify the selection and so on.
That's very good because that would help, if I'm going to, I just got my second sensor and then, be off and running, but, eventually I want to have 10 sensors and figure out, it would be really nice. Maybe I wouldn't need 10 sensors, but if the sensor itself had a way to store, like a file, like a file system, and it's just for analyzing, it's going to give them the mark.
Yeah.
And then,
so look at what it can do. If I go to, so I have the history. One important thing, the history with each of the helpers is tied to one analysis and to the user. It means that if you reopen the same analysis, you will directly get all the history of the discussion with this particular helper.
Okay.
But you see, I sent in this history, what is your expert view on this one? And it would explain everything. So that's incredibly valuable because instead of clicking here and trying to understand everything,
yes,
reading that and so, it would just be a discussion like, okay, what is this view on this one? And then I can just add another question like, okay, let's try this one. Can you suggest a yoga pose for this one? Okay. And so with the fatigue buster recipe, which the AI has access to, it can actually propose some specific yoga poses that would be consistent with your recording.
Are these
yeah.
Are these poses somewhere within the BioCoherence for like a picture?
No, that comes from the knowledge of the specific ChatGPT instance that we trained. So that's very interesting because we don't have a yoga module into BioCoherence, but this knowledge exists inside this particular helper.
Okay,
that's cool.
That's good. Yeah, that's way cool. But it's also, I like the idea of, okay, somebody that's not as flexible and wants to jump into yoga, some of those, like the legs up the wall, that might be one they can do because
yes, but
I do
that's the beauty of it. If you say that seems hard, give me easy one. It will just because it's a chat, so it's a very easy way to interact with it.
Well, I was thinking of liability, right? So in other words, here are the poses. You can ask ChatGPT, but we're not showing them the posture, right? I like that. It's got a name, and through extra, questions in the AI helper, I'm just looking at the, from where I plan on implementing BioCoherence. I'm always looking at, I want to help people, but people of a certain, let's just say they have certain characteristics, a mindset, and I want to help them. And it's their mindset. I don't want to change that, but I don't want to give them fodder for something. I'm just looking at the legalities of it. We really, at where I work, or where I've just retired from and hope to be going back with this, right? I mean, that's a real thing. I mean, not just HIPAA. That's a real thing. There are certain things that we have to take care of in 24 hours. A, because it's safety, but B, because it's a liability, right?
Okay, that's why when you start a discussion, you have to accept the fact that you are talking with an AI and not a real human, and that the information may be wrong, and so on and so on. So legally speaking, we try to prevent this, but that's also why it's you that will individually allow or not this kind of discussions with your specific clients. So if you feel that you have a client that could be problematic with it, you can just not allow it.
Well, I'm not so much. I wasn't really. My concern wasn't necessarily the use of the AI. It's just that if they choose they're just they are just playing around with the new user, new client, and that the yoga pose, right? Well, it's good that the name is listed, the posture is listed. But we don't show them a picture. If they want to see the picture, it's okay to use AI, but the chain of custody shows that no, you wanted this and you looked it up. We only suggested a name. I'm sorry, I'm being really technical.
Yes, yeah, I understand, but it's ultimately it's not you that is suggesting something. It's the AI, and
exactly.
it must be very clear. And we put a disclaimer on every page. Each time in the discussion, you have a disclaimer, this is not medical advice, and it says that the answers are generated and so on and so on. So it doesn't come from you. So we try to put the disclaimer front and center everywhere. So because
Jason,
of course,
question there. He's going mad to jump in. Yes, Jason.
Yeah. What?
We just have a question from Jason, but you're on mute though, Jason.
Yeah.
No, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Oh man, technical difficulties.
Yeah.
That's right.
There we go. Okay. This is a really interesting point, and if I can just maybe come from a devil's advocate point of view, a lot of what I do is demonstrate exercises, right? And there are ways that I could see combining these things or combining reference or something. I appreciate what you're saying, John, but if we're going to give reference to anything, be it yoga or some other aspect that I'm not familiar with. So I'm not a Chinese medicine doctor. So should I remove all reference of Chinese medicine for my clients that they're looking at, because they might become curious about some point that I can't actually elaborate on or demonstrate correctly for them? I think this is a place where we go, well, here are a lot of suggestions, and and give complete suggestions so people have some good reference for where to go if it's something they want to start incorporating. But everybody should have some sense of where they are, and they should know that, doing the headstand in the yoga just because it's suggested here, that's not where I'm starting.
No.
So I definitely see your point, but there's a certain point where liability is going to censor everything that we're doing. There's a certain point that it has to be considered up to, but again, I'll emphasize just the point of self-efficacy. For me, my goal is to get my clients to be more capable of assessing what they need themselves, and then me being able to lend to that because their expertise has gotten greater. And one of the things that I really see being beneficial from this is that if I have a mindset, or one of my clients has a mindset of being totally allopathic, but just by the system itself, they can see some aspects of Chinese medicine. They can see some aspects of Ayurvedic medicine, and they can go, oh, well, I don't really see a symptom in Western terms here, but I see this suggestion that if this is out of balance, I might feel emotional, and I definitely feel that way. And they start opening up their minds to how Chinese medicine and Western medicine could relate, and how some detail of Ayurvedic medicine that they've never heard of could be more relevant than a way that they could go and approach their health issue from an allopathic medicine direction. And so that and the whole AI system that you just introduced makes it even more a bridge that they can have some relevant information that they can look at. They can become more certain of what direction to follow, and then they can go and actually approach a professional that might have the expertise. And for me as the coach, I'm going to take all my clients and go, you know what? I see something here in the Chinese medicine that I don't see in the other things. And being that that's not my expertise, I'm going to refer you to my Chinese medicine doctor that I have in my referral network. Or I'm going to refer you to my yoga instructor that I have in my referral network. So, and this just makes us more useful and more insightful from, again, a much higher perspective on all this stuff. And being that we have the insight to look at the system in the first place from all the different places in life that all of us come from, that should be a really good example of the effect that it's already having along these lines, I think. So that's my sense.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Jason.
I agree with that too. I'll just add that the people that I've shown this really have loved the cross-referencing, whether they're familiar with these other areas or not. But people have really liked that, and I do think that it's spreading like an awareness to these other things, and it's teaching people and actually bringing interest and bringing a holistic medicine model.
And
Because it's like, oh my gosh, this is saying this and this is saying this too. This is great. I have no idea what that is, but it seems similar. So I'm getting validation from this app, and that's been one of the biggest things on the biofeedback compared to other technologies that are similar to this, is that it's more than one thing that's validating how people feel, and it's all saying the same thing, and people have really liked that. So
for me, the AI helpers are really a tool for developing curiosity.
I don't want to take, my whole comment the comment was for like the yoga poses. I'm just going to stick with that because that's what I was talking about. I don't want to take that away. I want them to see that. What I don't want them to see is, okay, like Jason said, oh, well, here's the headstand posture. Okay, well, that's fine. I mean, and that may resonate with them. And I want them to see the Ayurvedic, I want them to see that. It's another way of looking at the analysis through a different perspective. I want to see that. What I was only commenting on is, the picture's not there. But in the program, either I have acupuncturists, that I'll refer people to, or Chinese medicinal massage, or, I know people, yoga clinics, hot yoga, just, it's like 4 blocks away from where I live right now. But that I want to use that. What I don't want to do is I don't want to just put that in there and then they go, that was my concern. That's all my concern was. And it's dealing with who I want to bring this software to, the people. I want to help them. Maybe they've probably never done acupuncture or Ayurvedic or, any of that stuff, right? But I want them to see that and say, oh, look, here's, your doctor's giving you this chemical you need to take 3 times a day. And then over here, this says, okay, if you use some herbs and maybe do traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic, the doshas, the sub-doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, maybe you don't have to take that. You can do this. Oh, by the way, we'll just put the frequencies in and just see how it goes. I mean, that could be a profile that I could generate for them. I want, I'm not going to say don't go allopathic, this isn't medical device, but that's where I was coming from. I didn't want to take any of it out. I just didn't want the pictures, oh, we're telling you to do this, not that we are. This is just suggestions, but anyway.
But just for you to understand, if you go to the TCM practitioner, it will read your key observations. It will show you some biomarkers that you can click on. And then it will suggest, for instance, to do some harmonic boost, and you can directly play them from here. Okay. And then you can ask him some specific question. And it will say, okay, your bladder meridian is in this state and so on. And you can directly play an harmonic boost for it if you want, and so on. So it's just an assistant. It's just someone that is here to explain you your results. And given what you said, Dan, I think that if we send some authorization to go to the AI helpers after having seen a pro, this AI helper will have a limited skill set only to explain the results, and he will also receive all the written comments that you added on the report. So it can maybe explain your comments. So maybe you can be just quicker on your comments by saying, okay, I think this the client should do this and this and this and this, and you just send him away and say, just talk with the AI helper, and it will explain in detail what I put in the comments. You know, that may be another way for you to be helped and to be assisted. And I think also that maybe if you open your client to the discussion with the AI helper, you should at the end receive a summary of the discussion to see if something interesting has been uncovered in this discussion. Mm.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this as the pilot, right?
Yep.
And it'll be Wynn that picks the tenants, she will put out a list, and if whoever says okay is really that's what it's based on. I mean, we can't make them do anything, but I want it to be real time. We don't want to cherry pick them, and I want them to see that. I want them to see the other modalities that are there. But anyway, I think that's great because it's going to be me. I'm not going to have hired helpers unless. I'm not putting blinders on it. It's just, this is the way I see it right now. And if we come up with a formal proposal, and it's just a pilot program, right? And if it's just me, it's just me, but it'd probably be me and Wynn. And I don't know what other resources will be available until I talk with Wynn. She hasn't gotten back to me yet about the pilot program.
I think the ultimate goal is to develop people's curiosity and so that they could just learn new things and learn things about themselves. And the fact that you can have discussion with ChatGPT, but ChatGPT knows how your internal state is, it's amazing. Mm. Yeah, that's just the point. Mm.
Can I say something?
Oh, wait, no, please. Yeah, Chris.
So as I understand it, the AI is brand new. It comes out, let's say, tomorrow.
Yeah, it's in the next version. Yes. Mm.
So we're projecting somewhat prematurely because none of us have spent time with it. And from your description today, I see this the strength once you check the experimental box, you're kind of off the grid. And it's a very educational program, but it's more an experiential program.
Yeah.
So we all have to spend some quality time with the new version before we can proceed with our plan, because the plan is going to flux with our experience with the new features. And I think they're very good because being brand new, I see the need for that guiding the helper, because it's too complex what you've done to navigate on your own.
Yeah, that was also the main point.
Yeah, so it's very well done. But I personally have had some recent, as a new AI conversationalist, and it's all in your questions. So if you can ask very difficult, complex questions to AI, and hopefully you don't get autocorrect on the wording, but they even have a sense of humor of some sort. And the insight they give is usually clarifying your own sense of your question in such a way that you see better than when you asked that the answer was there all along. So your question leads you to the answer. So I think you're on a very right track. And over the next month or two, as the practitioners and the pro users experience this for themselves, they'll be in a better position to craft a rollout of the pilot or a way to relate to people better.
Yeah, but last week I just said a few words about what I wanted to do with AI, and some of the users immediately said, "Hola, how do I disable that for my clients and so on?" And I perfectly understand, and that's why I wanted to release the AI at the same time that we release the settings. So that if you are not happy with having AI, you just uncheck them and it just vanishes, and that's no problem. But I think it's a very powerful tool. But I also understand that some people may like it and some people may find it dangerous. And so the power is in your hands ultimately to choose to use it or not.
So my point being that there's no way I could learn all of the different modalities that you have on this in one lifetime. That AI is going to help me understand it all so much easier and to be able to explain it to my clients quickly and accurately. And the more that what I'm getting to is that the more that we use it, and if it's just enclosed in BioCoherence, that AI is going to be able to be so smart about how to like heal people on such a level that, that it'll exceed anything else out there, and no one will be able to do what we do if we just keep AI in BioCoherence. I think it's excellent. I'm so excited about this program. Cool. I hope it's coming through.
No, it's coming through. By the way, we now have two different installation paths. So if you go on biocoherence.net/install, you have the official version, which is still 1.19. And if you go to the App Store and the Play Store, you still have the official version. But if you want the beta version, you can still go to biocoherence.net/beta and you can try today the same version that I showed you. Almost the same because it's a version from yesterday, but I'm doing updates almost every day. So if you want to try it now, you can just go to biocoherence.net/beta. But the beta versions are only available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, not for iPad and iOS and Android. And by the way, please, if you are still on test flight on iOS or Android, please remove the test flight version and go to the official version, because I will have to disable all test flight distributions pretty soon, something like this weekend. So if you want to continue using the app and you have not yet switched on the official App Store version, please do it. There is a technical reason why I have to disable all the test flight versions, but I will have to do it in the coming days. So if you want to try it, you can try it on a Windows or a Mac or a Linux by directly downloading it now from biocoherence.net/beta. Okay.
I can hardly wait. I have it. I have not uninstalled 1.19 yet to go to 1.20. I just didn't want to do it while we're in the Zoom meeting. I just didn't want to, blow up the system and have to log back into this Zoom meeting. But I'm just ready to push go on the uninstall 1.19.
Yeah.
And,
maybe if you wait 1 hour or two, I will push today's version to because right now it's 1.20.8, I think. So
yes.
You can install 1.20.8. The .9 version will have some bug corrections and some new settings, but nothing has changed about the AI helpers.
Can we just hit update on the app to do that, or do we have to go back?
No, there is no automatic update into the app. You have to go to biocoherence.net/beta and to click on the installer, and it will replace the former version. So there are still some bugs in the AI in that sometimes it wants to create a basic program and it couldn't work the correct keywords and things like that. So I'm aware of that. But beside of this specific problem, I'm very interested in your feedback on everything that happens for you with the AI. And if you want to share some AI results, just send a ticket from the app so that we can have some references
Yes.
and tell us precisely if it's awesomely good for you or if it's just lost in translation somewhere. You should be able to use it in different languages too. I tried in French, it works pretty well. And the idea that we just discussed, Dan, that the AI should be limited in skills if you give it to one of your users, this is an idea that we just had. So please wait at least until tomorrow before I implemented it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to play around
Yeah.
with AI on me. I'm not going to put that out yet because
No. So you don't have yet the options to limit the user's
Right.
abilities when you share a report with a user. So
Okay.
How important is it to delete old versions when we add a new one?
No, you don't need to delete all version. You just install over the you just execute the installer and it will just replace the former version. But don't delete because if you delete, you will lose your local settings and your local recordings. So you just install over it and you keep all your recordings and your login and so on.
That's why I didn't. I have to. Ultimately, when it syncs back up, but I always uninstall the app because you had said that in earlier versions to uninstall it for PC and then reinstall it, which is what I've been doing.
Maybe I said that once because there was a problem. You only have to uninstall if there is a problem in your local recordings. But
Okay.
yeah, and by the way, that is exactly why I wanted to add the privacy settings because I think we should move to systematically save every one of your recordings in the cloud for this exact reason. And also because half of the tickets we have is, oh, I did the recording on my phone, I don't find it on my Mac. This is a bug. No, this is not a bug. It's just because you didn't save it in the cloud. So that's why I want people to start on the privacy setting that allows to systematically save everything in the cloud because it makes life easier for most people. So only if you want everything to be private and to stay locally, you have to go on the highest privacy level and then everything stays locally. But of course, nothing is backed.
I have one question.
Yes.
I have an older gentleman who is concerned about having to pay $10 a month for the application because he's on a set income, he's older. He's like, is there a free way that I could just use his sensor, do it, and it would just come to me as the practitioner, and then I could send him the frequency?
So the app is free, but on the free version, you have a limited plays. So you can play the meditations a few times, you can play the frequencies a few times, but you cannot use it for free forever. So what you can do for free forever, for instance, is to make some measurements with a sensor and send these measurements to your practitioner. For that, you don't need to pay. You only need to pay the lowest 10 euros a month subscription if you want to do a 21-day session, for instance. So if you want to have the daily meditations or things like that. But if you use it just to make some telemedicine, for instance, this is free.
Perfect. So he can go free, send it to me, or and then we can send it back to him.
Exactly.
Thank you. That will make him so happy. Thank you.
Okay.
So, and this, maybe I should save this for the commercial side, but I think it's apropos here. So in this pilot program, we're going to pick, I don't know how many people will pick, 5, 10, something like that. And then, probably I'm looking, well, I'm still waiting for you guys' help to help me design my pilot program, but, like maybe every 3 days or every 5 days, have them come back. So we'll have hopefully a lot of scans, a lot of information. And then, probably somewhere, maybe just a separate Word document, I guess, that I can include with this for feedback, like when I was beta testing for, Microsoft stuff or even just service packs, which they don't call it service packs anymore, but, it was, it was a bug program, so I could put comments in there, right? Just something for like remarks.
We have that when you check share for research on an analysis, you have a text box to put any remarks that would be useful for us. Yeah,
it just popped into my head. That's why I said remarks,
you can use that.
is there. Yeah, never mind.
And by the way, I was thinking to add a lower privacy setting that would be share everything for research. Maybe it makes sense. Privacy 7 and 10, something like that, where everything is saved on the cloud, but everything is also shared for research systematically, because why not? Yes, okay.
Well, everyone, thank you so much, but I have something I need to get ready for and do this morning. You guys are on evening, but I'm in morning. So thank you for this. I am going to
Dan, if you want to chat later too, get a hold of me.
I will.
Okay.
I will, TJ. I won't are you on Central or Mountain Time?
Central.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And I'm up late.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
This has been a very enlightening session. Thank you so much, Medrick and Stephen and Jason and everybody, for TJ, for all your comments, because wow. I mean, this is the evolution path. It's not this anymore. It's this right now. It's like that. And Medrick, thank you for all the new buttons. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Anyway.
Love making buttons.
Love you all. Bye.
I love pressing buttons.
Bye.
Okay. I stop the recording.